All right, so quickly, some reaction. Wells tweets, at least the Jets put up somewhat of a fight this weekend. Signed Hawk in the Ritt v. Hawk workplace violence poll. All right, this is the very definition of something jumping the weekend. When I say something jumped the weekend, what I mean is something happened on the program on Friday, and then a few days go by, and you think that we'd all turn the page and move on, but we have not. It jumped the weekend. It made it to Monday. Dear Jim, I love Hawk's look today. When he came into the office this morning, did he take off his jacket, change his shoes, sit down, and tell everyone it was going to be a beautiful day in the jungle hood? A beautiful day in the jungle hood. James in Tucson. Would you be mine, Hawk? I mean, the dude does look like Fred Rogers. All right, so what are we talking about? What, in fact, jumped the weekend? What did you miss on Friday? The big head, James Kelly, came in to do big head bets. Had himself another big weekend. But on the way out the door, I said to him, we've already covered the NFL. Is there anything else that you might be looking at this weekend? And then out of nowhere, big head James Kelly goes with this.
I like the old man here, Jim. He's got combat experience. He fought in many wars in Bird. His stamina, it's a little increasingly declining.
Well, first off, what the hell is he talking about? I ran a marathon twice.
He's right.
I was in March, Hawk. Eisenhower has made a career out of whooping ass.
You suck.
I'm still laughing. All right, so what he was doing was, when I said to James Kelly, do you have anything else you're looking at? He said, yeah, boss. Playing off that Colombo v. Judge fight. The workplace violence that we've been talking about. I kind of think that there might be some more workplace violence involving the XR4 Ti. Ritt v. Hawk. Who you got? And then he laid it out. He laid it all out, and he broke down the matchup and dropped a line on it as well. And then it turned into a poll, and Ritt is the overwhelming favorite of you clones. So let me check in with the guy himself. Not you, old man. Adam. I know there's a reason. I know that you're desperate to get people to look at you. Otherwise, you wouldn't get a tattoo of your cat or put on that red sweater. But I'll indulge you. Why do you look the way you look today with your red sweater and your glasses? Your perfectly coiffed lettuce. Like, what's going on with you, man?
Honestly, Jim, and I'm being straight, I just had a wonderful weekend at the thrift store. It has nothing to do with seeking attention. It has to do with the season. It's getting a little chilly. My wife and I went into a thrift store, and I just cleaned up on cardigans. I picked up 4 different cardigans. It is officially cardigan week for me here, so get used to it because tomorrow and Wednesday will be cardigans as well. It has nothing to do with rope-a-doping Ritt, seeking attention on television. You know, back when this was a radio show and there weren't cameras, I still would have worn this and been happily under the radar. But we can't help that so many people view this show because it's such a wonderful show.
You'd be, quote, happily under the radar. So do you promise, would you swear that this has nothing to do with you wouldn't hit a guy with glasses, would you, Ritt?
I mean, I'll take all the mercy I can get.
Thrift store cardigan. You wouldn't hit a guy with a used red sweater, would you, Ritt?
Like I said, anything that gets Ritt, not punching me in the face would be great. That would behoove me very much because 96% of the people that participated in the poll think that Ritt would beat my ass. And I think sooner or later you have to look at yourself in the mirror and say, is the general public wrong? That's a lot of people who think that. So maybe that old man strength is real. Maybe I am in for an ass beating.
Well, I don't think there's any doubt. Yeah, normally when I see 96%, thank you, Adam. Thank you for nothing as usual. Normally when I see everybody going one way, I go the other way. And generally that works out pretty well for me. But sometimes there's a reason why everybody is going one way. Because everybody knows. So in this case, I'm going to go with the old man. All right, so there's your answer. He's not doing it for attention. He's not trying to get you to look at him. He's not trying to run some misdirection. He's not even showing up looking like that because he wants to give off the vibe that, hey, man, you wouldn't hit a guy with glasses, would you? He went to a thrift store and bought a bunch of used clothing and is going to rock it all week long. Luckily, it's a short week. Let's go to Buffalo. Jake in Buffalo. Jake, how are you? What's up?
Pimp in the box, what is up? Hey, I just wanted to run down a few thoughts about the subpar Josh Allen-less football I was forced to watch this Sunday. And watching the Pats take another L is never going to stop being fun for us Bills fans. while I watched that old, beleaguered Patriots juggernaut try to take on one of the most exciting and dynamic quarterbacks in the NFL, I couldn't help but think of the rumble in the jungle. That is the Ritt v. Hawk battle royale. And much like that Patriots team, I think old man Ritt can possibly hold down his own for a few rounds. But down the stretch, once his sugar high gives out and the insulin stops working, Ritt's going to crumble like the Chips Ahoy he's been shoving down his gullet for the last 50 years. And I don't know about you, Jim, but I've never seen a fighter slamming Rice Krispie treats and Cocoa Puffs in the corner between rounds. You can't carbo load your way to victory, Ritt. And at the end of the day, Hawk's youth and speed is going to be too much for that old man. I mean, Hawk is the picture of physical prowess, having battled his way from severe back injury suffered while tying his shoes and learning to bob and weave his way through stationary cameras. Besides that, Hawk's style is impetuous. His defense is impregnable. Hawk's just ferocious. He wants your heart. Hawk wants to eat your children. Although I do worry about Hawk's attitude because I don't know if he has enough dog in him to win a fight. But if worst comes to worst, Hawk can just take a page out of Tyson's book and take a bite out of Ritt's ears. But good luck in getting your mouth around those dinner plates on the side of Ritt's head. Anyway, Jim, I'll leave you with this. Go, Hawk, go. Put Ritt in a nursing home. Gerrit Ritt, hey, what do you say? Put on the gloves and put down that cake.
You go ahead and rack him. Jake in Buffalo breaking it down. All right, so in Adam's defense, it wasn't that he had to navigate his way around, quote, stationary cameras. These cameras move. Now, when he walked into it, it was not moving. But again, in his defense, it's nothing I haven't done. I hit that same camera one day. As I mentioned the other day, I wasn't right for a week. It's like walking. It's like not even walking. It's like running at full speed into a brick wall. So who you got, Ritt or Hawk? I thought that was one of the funnier segments in a long, long time. And what I thought was especially hilarious is when James Kelly, the flight deck, the big head, tried to explain the rationale behind his pick. Like, Hawk, you've got no stamina. And Hawk was just incredulous. Like, what are you talking about, man? I ran in a marathon. To which James Kelly responded, yeah, Hawk, in March.
You suck.
I mean, he was so befuddled and bewildered, he just blurted out, you suck.
You suck.
At Mock Moda tweets, Hawk is a liar and a kook. Drew West LA tweets, big fan of Hawk's fit. Signed, tenured literature professors. Wore elbow patches. D-Rod, dude, Sparrow, my 16-year-old daughter goes thrift store shopping. Grow up, Peter Pan. Jake Rome, too, man. Jake Rome's about that life also. Hey, Dad, you like this? No. It only cost me $1, right? And I got it for $1. Isn't it great? No, son. Why do you think your old man has busted his ass 16 hours a day for 40 years? So you don't have to put that crap on your back. Hawk should not be your role model, son. All right, so I've been doing this for a long time, right? I thought that I knew the entire comprehensive list of things that you clones love. Cranks, bum smack, fat smack, the adult alarm, slump busters, the rat fam, OJ resets, stay-at-home dad jokes, celebrities dying, celebrities getting fat, self-glossing, personal appearances show fodder, all those things. I thought that was it. Well, go ahead and add this one to the list. Workplace violence. Because ever since James Kelly piggybacked off of Joe Judge and Mark Colombo allegedly giving each other the hands, and then spun that into handicapping a hypothetical fight between Ritt and Hawk, you clones have not stopped talking about it. This damn thing carried 2 segments on Friday, the entire weekend, and there's even more reaction throughout the entire program today. A hypothetical fight between Ritt and Hawk has you all more excited than anything I've seen since the smack off itself. I bet that if we had a hashtag on it, it would have trended. I mean, there's a story out there that Jimmy Butler called up free agent Goran Dragic and threatened to beat his ass if he didn't return to the Heat. So he did what anybody would do when faced with that option. He signed on the line that is dotted, and he's going to run it back with Jimmy haymakers. Can't blame him. But now workplace violence has become a thing. Colombo v. Judge, Buckets v. Dragic, Hawk v. Ritt. And Wells in the 360 put up a poll over the weekend. A Who You Got poll. For a clone with 700 followers, it got great reaction. 1,200 votes. Let's just say the jungle is backing old man strength. 96% of the people who voted are taking Ritt. 96%. Way to go, Hawk. You're like 40 years younger. Way to garner 4% of the vote. Way to match Eric Silkinson's efforts at the HB City Council election. 96%, of the people are going with the old guy in the back row. And this is after Ritt tweeted over the weekend that he eats ultra-processed grub, does not exercise, sits on his ass all day long, he's got terrible posture, drinks way too much caffeine, is sun-deprived, does not sleep, and spends literally every waking moment on social media. And despite those admissions, the voting public still went with him to the tune of 96%.
Game on.
Incredible. I don't know if I'm more impressed with the old man or more embarrassed by Hawk. Honestly, who does that say more about? I know this. James Kelly better move that line. Because the sharps, the wise guys, and the public, pretty much everybody is going Ike on this one. And so am I. You got to update that line, big head. Update it and be ready for Wednesday because the clones want your picks going into the Thanksgiving weekend.
Bring it on.